Hi folks, it's John Nizman from lastchanceautorestore.com. We're standing with this Porsche replica. It's a 1957 356 kit car. In the previous video you saw where we had rebuilt the engine and we were ready to set it up into the engine bay. So we now have it in the engine bay. We went ahead and replaced the clutch, pressure plate and release bearing, and we've set the engine up inside the engine bay. So with it in the engine bay, we're just starting on hooking everything up. So there's a couple of important things. With this carburetor setup, the camera can probably come a little bit closer. When we come into the engine bay, you'll see we have the twin carbs set up on either side, and we have our rod and lever control that we've just started to lay out. Something really important with this setup, and it's this on the firewall that we've just installed, and that's a fuel pump regulator. So we now have an electric fuel pump up near the front of the car by the fuel tank, and then we have this Holley fuel pump regulator, and we have a fuel filter and supply. Get my fingers out of the way. So there's your fuel filter and the supply is coming in, and then we have this dial which gives us the PSI. So we've got a gauge, and we want to be about 3.5 PSI constantly with the fuel to keep these carburetors happy. So we're just setting that up into the firewall. We're running the lines. We've still got quite a bit to do, but we just wanted to set it up and show you what it looks like in the engine bay. So with a little bit of bling or chrome on it with some billet stuff, it'll look quite attractive. There was never a panel in here originally, and it's really important on these air-cooled motors that we make sure that the back of the belly pan is shielded and protected from all the warm air and hot air that's going to come up from the exhaust and up through into the engine bay. Being an air-cooled, these are much happier if that's sealed off. So we'll be making a custom plate for the front where we'll close all of this in, have it as close as possible to the engine so we don't get a lot of heat coming up from the motor coming up through this big opening. So with the Pertronix flamethrower set up in terms of turning it into an electronic distributor, we have the flamethrower coil, we have the filler panel here for the original fuel pump. There's a line here you'll notice, and we're going to set that up because we need to relieve some of the crankcase pressure. That tube we will plumb into the back of the valve covers on both sides. So that will release some of the crankcase pressure. So still quite a bit to go, but just a quick little update. Just wanted to show you with the engine just set up into the engine bay, and then the next video we'll show is once we have everything hooked up and ready to start and break in the engine. So this is one of the many projects we're working on. This is the 1957 Porsche 356 kit car. I thank you for watching, and I'm John from lastchanceautorestore.com.